as you were saying now, I have to give you the credit that her family and her friends being interlocutors in the story are as much a part of the story as them telling that story about her life, which I think is a truly fantastic filmic choice. And when it comes to the story, the fact remains that it is unresolved. And one thing we do know about Dulcie's life and her killing is that there was an attempt to sort of try and investigate the murder, not only in France, but also post-apartheid. It was addressed at the TRC briefly, and some of the notorious characters from South Africa's apartheid regime were there to answer about what happened. And till this day, that remains unresolved. So, I mean, not to reveal too much about the film, I'm curious to try and to understand. I mean, what do you guys see as the prospects for this thing being reinvestigated again, for more answers coming out of this process that you've helped generate of undoing her erasure and reinserting her into history? Do we think that it might provide us the opportunity where people take notice and say, no, actually, this thing needs to be addressed and it needs to be resolved?
I can announce actually. You know, it's not well known, but the family of Dulcie September recently filed papers with the French judiciary to get the case reopened, and they're actually using the documentary as part of their submission with the evidence because of some of the narrative of the documentary. So that's a hugely important step in getting this case reinvestigated or reopened, and contributing to the un-erasure of Dulcie September. Evelyn?
Yeah, I hope something will happen like that authorities will take this seriously, but I don't think it will. There's just too much that's for authorities both in France and South Africa would need to remain hidden. I think back to the policeman of the Brigade Criminelle who told me in 1989 that if you think it was us, then do you really think we're going to solve this case? You must be mad. Yeah, and the same with, I think, the ANC government as it is. I do go, since Enver can promote his movie here, I want to promote my book. That it is. I'm shameless. I think the solution, not 100%, but close to a solution is in the book, because and it also reflects in the case that is being made in France, if I understand Enver correctly, by the family. It comes down to the painters that were strangely in the building where Dulcie September worked and where she was assassinated. Somebody had recruited painters, and it was not the ANC. And one of these painters was a whole lot of things, but was not a painter. The other element of that, again, without giving away too much, is that the lift in the building has a window, has like a little gap where you can see through what you come to as you ascend to your fourth floor. And Dulcie September, her character was very, very aware and cautious. She was being threatened, and she was very cautious. She had told people, don't do this, don't do that, because you will be killed. She would not have come out of the lift if she would have seen somebody standing there. And she was shot as she came out of the lift in the face from the window side. So it is speculation, but it could only have been the painters, because those were the people that she would have said, okay, we know these painters in their white overalls. And later, in fact, there was a white overall abandoned on that floor. It was seen by another painter who had worked at another side of the building and who happened to be an actual painter. So I may not have resolved everything, but I think sort of from the testimony of the real painters, I learned a lot.